Hey, this is John from Music Marketing Manifesto, and in this video I'm going to show you a music marketing model that I've used to sell a lot of albums both for myself and for other artists. And it's a very simple, methodical, and easy to duplicate process. Now, as I mentioned, this is a strategy that I've used not only in my own career, but I've used it as well as a consultant for other artists. In fact, recently I used this exact model to help an artist set the all-time single-day sales record for CD Baby. In fact, he hit #1 on the CD Baby charts and even broke into the Billboard charts, and if you can believe it, our marketing budget was a whopping $443. Point being, you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to sell a significant number of albums. Now, the reason I put this together is because I see a lot of musicians out there who are really working hard to promote their bands, but at least in my opinion, the way they're going about it is just not going to get them the kind of results that they're looking for. It's certainly not going to get them the best return on their efforts. Now, most bands are taking an old school major label approach to selling albums, which is to say that they're taking a branding strategy. In other words, they go out into the world, they play as many shows as possible, put out albums, make videos, essentially saturate the market in the hope that there will be this tipping point where it suddenly all adds up to enough market awareness that the band essentially becomes famous and starts selling albums as a result. The reality is this is extremely difficult to pull off, even when you do have hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend on marketing, you have video, radio airplay, and all the rest of it. And of course, the reality is most of us don't have that. Now, what I personally like about my strategy is that it really can work for anyone. This works whether you're 16 or you're 60, whether you tour or whether you never even play a single show. And most significantly of all, and I think a lot of musicians can relate to this, this is a strategy that leaves you with something tangible at the end of the day, which in this case is an actual following. In other words, you follow these steps and you'll have fans that you can continue to promote your future releases to for years to come. It's not just another social media strategy that puts you in front of your computer all day long adding friends only to see little to no sales as a result, and then of course leaves you starting all over again when the social media flavor of the month changes, for example with what happened with the big MySpace bust a few years back. But I'm getting ahead of myself here, so I'm just going to jump right in and start laying out the nuts and bolts of how and why this whole strategy works. Now, what you're seeing in front of you is a flow chart that represents how your average music fan typically discovers and ultimately purchases music online. I say online because my entire strategy for selling music is an internet-based strategy. This is not to discount offline sales. Touring, press, radio, all that stuff is a great adjunct to this business model. It's just that they're pretty straightforward. You play shows, you push merch from your merch table, hopefully you sell albums. But when it comes to online sales, which needless to say is the direction that the music business is taking, the process is a bit different. It basically works like this. The average music fan turns to the internet to check out music that they dig. This is the interest phase of the process. If a person likes an artist, they want to consume more. They want to hear more, they want to learn more, see more, etc. At that point, they go to Google and to a lesser extent sites like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and enter terms that pertain to their favorite band. For example, a fan of Bob Dylan might search Bob Dylan or Bob Dylan lyrics, Bob Dylan reviews, that sort of thing. At that stage, they find content. Content, of course, is what the internet is made of. It's the sole reason that the internet exists. Now, in this case, the content might be a review of a Bob Dylan album, gossip about his life, lyrics to his songs, any number of things. Now, this here is where you as a musician has an enormous opportunity. This is where you can step in and be the content creator by publishing your own keyword-targeted content that is designed to pull in the search queries of your potential fans. In other words, sticking with the Bob Dylan example for a second, if you were a folk musician yourself and you thought that your potential fans might also be Bob Dylan fans, you might write an article titled Highway 61 Revisited Review, just as a hypothetical example. You then publish the article on any number of free sites that have a lot of authority within the search engines, and as a result, you'd pull in that targeted traffic. Now, at this stage, the prospect is faced with a choice. They either bounce, in other words, close the window and move on to something else, or they click through via links within the content that they're reading. Now, obviously, we've all done this where you're reading something, you like it, and so you keep clicking through, finding more and more related content. Needless to say, music fans do this as well. So, long story short, if the content you created was appealing to the reader and you offered a link to something else that was related to the reader's interest, chances are the reader might click on it. And this is where the incentive comes in. What you do here is you create a special web page, which is often called a squeeze page. This is very simple to do, by the way. This is not a complex process. And that web page, that squeeze page, would offer a free track of yours in exchange for the person's email address. Now, you might have a link at the bottom of your hypothetical review that said something like, if you like Bob Dylan, then you'll love my band. You can download my single for free here, or something to that extent. And then you'd, of course, send that visitor to your squeeze page where they could sign up to get your free track. And once this person does this, they're now officially on your mailing list, and for all intents and purposes, you now essentially have yourself a new fan. Now, of course, that relationship is very new and it's very cold, and that takes us to the next step, and this is a very important step in the process, which is to build a relationship with your new fan. And to do this, you send that prospect or you send that fan a series of emails that are designed to let them get to know you and to build anticipation for hearing the rest of your album. You can eventually automate this whole process with an email management system commonly referred to as an autoresponder, so you can just set the whole thing up once and leave it to run on autopilot for years if you want to. And it's this process of sending out these very tailored email messages to your subscribers that slowly builds that bond, it builds that comfort level, and it ultimately leaves them much more open to purchasing your album at a later date. And if you do this correctly, and if you do this consistently, and you continue to drive traffic into that funnel, you should start to see some significant sales for years to come, or at least for as long as you continue to drive traffic into this entire sales model that we've just gone over. So just to recap, here's what you need to do. Step 1, find out what keywords your potential fans are using to search for music. To do this, you just need to ask yourself, who are your fans? What other artists, what other aspects of music are your potential fans interested in? And then generate a list of keywords that might represent that search activity. Step 2 is to facilitate that interest by creating related content. Now, typically this is going to be an article or a blog post, but it might even be a YouTube video or even just a tweet or a post on Twitter or Facebook or any of a number of other social media sites. Step 3 is to drive traffic to your offer for a free track. In other words, your incentivized offer. And we do this by basically just picking a traffic strategy and sticking with that on a consistent basis. In other words, most of us go out and we try to tour, we try to perform on a consistent basis. With this strategy, we need to wake up every morning and do something on some consistent level so that we are constantly driving new visitors to our website every day. And in theory, over time, that should sort of snowball and it should continue to grow and grow and grow, because that content we create, it stays out there typically forever. And so while new content experiences the highest volume of traffic, even old content typically sends us some visitors for the long haul. Step 4 is to build a relationship with your subscribers, and we do this again with a series of emails that are designed to build that bond, to build that comfort level, and you can even support this with social media itself, with Twitter and Facebook, and just let them get to know you and who you are, what you're about, what your music's about before you start selling to them. But of course, it would all be for nothing if we didn't go to step 5, which is to sell your album to your subscribers. At the end of the day, it's the music business, and we're here to make money. So this, of course, is where it all comes together, and we hopefully start to see some sales as a result of all the other steps. And once you've done that, once you're starting to see some sales come in other words, once you've built a profitable sales funnel, we go to step 6, which is to scale things up. And what I mean by that is it is an awful lot of work to continuously sell $10 or $15 products, or CDs that is, to sell those over and over and over again to new customers. But if we scale things up, if we create new products, that would be new releases, merchandise, even potentially some high-ticket items like exclusive shows or even membership sites for the real diehard fans, that's a way for us to make not only a lot more income for each sale or each fan on our list, but potentially even recurring income if we explore some of the recurring income models that are out there as well. So again, what I'm saying here is that we don't want to just let the sales funnel die with one sale of one album. We want to continuously be presenting our subscribers with opportunities to buy or to consume more of our music. Now, I know some of the stuff I'm covering here might be new to some of you, but it really is a simple process, especially once you get set up and going. If you're interested in taking things to the next level, I've created an in-depth home study course that will teach you how to set this whole machine up. I teach you how to quickly create a website that converts. I show you how to turn visitors into actual subscribers and how to convert subscribers into actual record buyers. Then, once the machine is in place, I teach you how to drive traffic to your site and then more or less automate the entire process. Now, the course is called Music Marketing Manifesto, and when you register, you'll immediately get access to an 81-page manual, 23 in-depth video training sessions, 3 website templates, copy and paste email swipe files, there's audio interviews, an interactive members area, as well as a music marketing tools section, which is full of a ton of other marketing resources that I think will ultimately help you sell more music. Now, you can learn more about who I am and how Music Marketing Manifesto works down below this video, and if you decide that you'd like to take the next step, there's a button at the bottom of the page that will give you instant access to the entire course. But regardless of what you decide, I got some more really cool stuff coming your way that I think is really going to help you when it comes to selling your music, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. And if nothing else, I hope this video shows you how a simple mindset shift can take a dead-end career and really turn it into a viable one. Now, most musicians are just throwing themselves out there with gigs and press kits and hoping that some music industry savior is going to come along and make them a rock star. But if you stop thinking about your career like that and you start thinking about your career as a sales funnel and you drive leads into that sales funnel, into ultimately what is a purchasing process or purchasing experience, you should start to see some real and sustainable results. That's about it for this video. If you have any questions, you can just shoot me an email at john@musicmarketingmanifesto.com. There's also a contact link at the very bottom of the page. I hope this video has taught you something, or at least given you a slightly different perspective on things. That's really it for now. Be on the lookout for more music marketing tips, and I've got some good stuff coming your way. So thanks, and take care.